And then I said to her, I was like, you know, cucumbers are so expensive nowadays. Why don't you just get a car? Oh, sorry. Welcome to the Anime Dudes podcast and Dad's podcast. My name is Riley, the Anime Dad, and with me we have.
Bjorvio, and y'all, that was the funniest joke he's ever said. It was one of those you really got to be here for to hear it, though. Like,
Yeah.
we don't have time to start it all over, though. We've been sitting here for the last 15 minutes, but if you, for those of you that are interested in hearing the full joke, please go subscribe to our Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Spotify, and perhaps we'll put pieces of it in future episodes.
Yeah, you you have, like I said, you have to be there to hear the whole thing. It's amazing. We're very excited to have you all here. Thank you to the listeners, and we're talking about some cool things today. So, before we get into our improv questions, I'm just going to summarize what we're talking about briefly. But we each of us went on to Crunchyroll or wherever we watch our anime and chose an anime that we thought the name looked cool for our co-host to watch the first episode of, and our co-host is gonna give that first episode or the anime a rating out of 10 based on the first episode and just discuss it a little bit. Did that make sense, Bjorvio? Is that better than my joke, or is that on a similar level?
No, nothing's better than the joke, man.
Okay.
I'm still not over it.
Cucumber.
But yeah, I think it's gonna be a really good one. Y'all, I have notes. Okay, this is gonna be good.
I
I
do
have
too.
notes.
And we haven't watched the anime that we've passed on to our co-host. But we're going to get into the improv questions. We have two improv questions each. Bjorvio is going to start with his improv questions to me, and they're going to be probably incredible. And I'm going to go back to him, and mine are going to be probably pretty good. All right. So Bjorvio, you start. Off you go.
All right. So if a woodchuck could chuck wood, he would have his own anime called The Woodchucking Woodchuck. And in this anime, he would chuck wood, but as he would do so, he would find that there's more ways in life to solve problems than by chucking wood, this woodchuck found out. So what he would have to do is go on an adventure with his friends in order to find the purpose of life besides woodchucking. What is this is going to be a spoiler alert, but what does the woodchucking woodchuck find is more important than a woodchuck woodchucking?
Chucking his friends and family, and he, you know how some anime allow you to, it's like an warm fuzzy feelings at the end of it, makes you feel good. This one, he actually has more free time when he chucks his friends and family. He physically moves them to another location, chucks them on an airplane, gets them away from him, and he has a lot more free time. He's selfish, yes, there are lessons to be learned, but not all animes have a happy ending.
Yeah. And on the bright side, there's more trees in the forest because he's not chucking wood.
That's so true. What is it? What does chuckwood mean, by the way? That means chopping it down.
I believe so.
Okay.
Or either that or pick it up and yeet, but that doesn't make as much sense.
Yeet.
But now I got this image of a woodchuck going, yeet!
Hey, but you are an expert on wood, aren't you?
I actually did work at one point in time in a lumber mill. Like, true story.
Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. Well, so you're saying this is based on your life?
Yeah, because I did have to pick up the wood and haul it onto the planks, and so that's why they called me Woodchuck Yorvio back in the day. But I
Beautiful.
don't currently chuck wood that much anymore. So that's
Hey,
why it just got switched to B Yorvio.
I'm gonna throw back to the joke. Cucumbers. All right.
We're
Sorry, I'm
never gonna
sorry.
get anything done.
It's too
Too
good. All
good.
right, give us a second improv question.
All right. Well, I was gonna do one on cucumbers, but I don't think I'll ever be able to top yours. I'm gonna stay away from that topic. Um, okay. So you decide that you're going to learn how to use a bow and arrow, and you actually get pretty good with it. The only problem is you're not really good at shooting arrows, but you know what you are really good at shooting? Utensils. So you actually just get a small quiver on your shoulders and a couple on your hips because you know silverware is not that big, and so you just come around. You're like, and you become a pretty good assassin. Okay. Um, in fact, Lloyd Forger even gives you a gold star. Not that you know that he's Twilight or anything. This guy just walks up and gives you a gold star. But hey, that's pretty impressive, right? And then one day you get a target that you're like, all right, this is the perfect target for me and my skill set. The perfect challenge. What utensils are you bringing to the fight?
Great question. Great question. I think I watched an anime on this. It was like I think it was called Spoon Me or something like that. Um, Very good anime though. But I'm taking I only take spoons. Only take spoons. And they're not any spoons. You know the Japanese soup spoons that have that like they're big at
Ooh,
the
yeah, yeah,
bottom?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm only taking them. They work as a boomerang situation, so they go around the target and confuse them. And once they're confused, I come with a bigger soup spoon, hit them on the head, knock them out. Who's the person I'm fighting?
That is a great question. The person you're fighting that is sorry, I thought of the cucumbers again. Was Inosuke Hashibira because his swords are he actually made them to look like butter knives, but they just have the ridges more spread out apart. I don't know how clear that is in Demon Slayer, but that's essentially what he made them to look like. So I think that's why his knives versus your soup spoons.
That's a good idea. That would work really well. All right, my first improv question for you. Let's pretend you walk into a shop. Okay, just imagine your favorite shop of all time. You
Ooh,
walk
okay.
in, and the person behind the counter says to you, "Yeah, you're not allowed in here because of what happened last time." You don't remember the day before for some reason, but you see your name and face on the wall, and you're wearing a mask. What's the lady's name? And when you walk out, what car do you punch?
Her name is actually a beautiful family name. Her name is Jimpako. Beautiful, beautiful name. I really liked her as a cashier, but I guess I'm not allowed to anymore. Um, but I'm actually gonna go out there and I'm gonna punch her car. And I'll tell you why. It has nothing to do with her personally. It's just she drives one of those like really like beat up cars, that's already has a bunch of dents because she's too stubborn to go out there and buy a new car. So I'm just gonna punch that because she'll never know. Like I don't want her to feel bad. But I don't want to go out and punch a new car either. So I'm gonna put a dent in that one, and then I'm gonna get my keys. I'm gonna draw a little heart in it so that she knows she's loved. Right?
That's super sweet. Sorry, that wasn't anime related, but you obviously go home and watch an anime after that to feel better. So that's why. I see that
Classic
way.
me.
Classic you. Um, all right, let's pretend your name's Bjorvio. Actually, my name's Bjorvio. Your name's the anime dad. All right. You have three wishes by a genie, but it's not any genie. It's an anime genie, and it only speaks Japanese. You you say "Watashi wa anime dad desu" to the genie himself. He slaps you in the face. Why'd he slap you? And what is your final wish?
The reason that he slapped me is because the last time you saw the genie, you didn't finish the cucumber joke. So
Yes!
he's still a little mad at you for that, and I can't say I blame him. It's quite good.
Callback, baby.
Uh, but the reason your final wish, okay, your final wish is to
Final
have
wish. You're the
a.
anime dad.
Oh yes, I mean, my final wish is to. So I'm gonna do this as the anime dad would. Okay, my final wish is to have a voice acting role in One Piece.
Got it. You got it. You got it right. Well done. Well done. And you weren't confused by that question, even though I was. Very good. Very good. Now, there are so many animes out there. There are so
Really?
many animes out there. Some are good, some are not
Uh-huh.
so good,
Right.
and some are very, very good.
Hmm.
Like I said, we recommended one to our co-host, and that we haven't watched, and they're going to talk about it. And my one that I recommended to you, it was a bit fun. It was a bit fun. The name sounded fun. How heavy are the dumbbells you lift? I think it's
Yep.
called. And have you binged the season because it's so good, or what? Like,
No.
okay.
I watched one episode and that because that's all we were gonna do. I was like, okay, one episode, that's it.
All right. Well, tell us about it and finish with a number out of 10 of what you'd give it based on the first episode.
All right. So the episode itself is about this girl who it kind of starts off showing her eating this amazing food. Like every single piece of food they show in the episode is absolutely incredible. And I want it all.
The
Okay.
cucumber in there, or
I forgot about
sorry.
yeah, actually in the
Yeah.
first 10 seconds.
Okay. Good. Good. Good.
Um so yeah, it there is the food looks great, but then her friend is like this super big jerk and she's like, "Oh my gosh, you put on weight. Like are you trying to tell people you don't need a boyfriend? Okay, then eat whatever you want." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay." Like jerkaholic. Okay. Um and then she's like, I'm gonna go to the gym. And then we have this opener, and the opener is straight fire. It's so good. It had no business being that good. It was honestly better than a couple of my heroes, if we're being honest.
Okay. And just like good animation or good like sound music.
Mostly the sound. The opening, the anime in itself had a lot of fan service, and both in the opening, the show, and the end credits. And the I would I think the opener had more than the ending. I'll leave it at that. Um, and then we actually get into the episode. Okay, we get into the episode, and it's like she goes to the gym. She finds a friend there that's in her class. They have how they know each other. I really don't remember. Because they're not in the same class. Maybe they just go to the same school. I don't remember. Um, and from here on, they start going to the gym. Okay, and there's a lot of things they do really well, and there's a couple of things that I'm like, okay. Uh, and the things that were like, okay, they had a lot of angles of people. Okay, like they're just showing stuff, and I'm like, I've never seen someone drawn from that angle in any other anime that I've ever seen in my
Now,
life.
if these angles are put in like Dragon Ball Super, would it improve it?
Um, Maybe just on Frieza.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Got it.
Um, but yeah, and there were, and then they like, there's a bunch of clothing changes for both the men and the women. There's a lot of fan service for both men and women. The men are just jacked. Okay, they're just straight up jacked, and they are making very strange sounds while they're working out. Okay, this is not something you want to show your
Hold
kids.
on, what the heck did I tell you to watch? This sounds real bad. Your wife
No,
walks
it's not
in.
real bad. It's not real
Okay,
bad.
but
It's not.
fan service, a
It's
lot of
not.
fan service.
A lot of fan service. However, one of the super good things about this show was how they explain how to do bench presses and squats. They fully explain how to do it right, why you want to do it that way, what muscles you work out when you're doing it that way. They give
Okay.
visual demonstrations of how to do all of that. Um, and that part was really cool. They did that throughout the episode. Of any exercise they did, they fully explained how to do it so you could do it at home. I was like, wow, that's actually really useful. They even threw out a statistic out there. I didn't look this up myself, and I also don't know if this is just Japan or America, but they said that only 30% of women exercise 2 times a week or more. It's like, oh, I never really thought about
Wow,
that.
that is
Right?
that's is that no, two times a week? 30%? That's very low. That is very low, and I'm sure it's a similar.
Right.
I mean, Japanese people seem to be quite healthy and fit. It might be similar or less in America.
Yeah, this might be a good time to mention I watched the dub, so
Yeah.
that's why I'm like that might have an influence on the statistic. I really don't know.
Wow.
Final point. I love how relatable a lot of this anime was. There were people in the show that were like, I really love going to the gym. I love feeling the burn. I'm super motivated to go. It's super effective for me. And then there's other people that are like, I don't really enjoy this. I'm having a hard time changing my lifestyle. And sometimes I want to quit, and there's motivation involved between trying to get them in there. There's they talk about how someone starts doing exercises at home, and that's really hard because it gets boring and all these other things. And I was like, wow, that's really cool to show both sides of the perspective like that. Like, that's really, really solid and helpful.
Agreed. That sounds real cool. And it does it do it in an emotional, motivational way as well, or
A little bit. Most of it is just like one girl explaining kind of how she feels about it, but not necessarily in like a deep drawn out emotional way. There's one scene at the end where it gets like a teeny tiny bit like in the feels, but not really. But it was tasteful in the way that they did it. I was very quite pleased with that. And the voice acting is absolutely solid. Like, that is one of my favorite things about this is I meant to look up who the cast was, but the voice acting for all the main characters was absolutely great. I was very impressed with that. I'll just leave it at that.
I'm sure Sunny Straight's in there somewhere. But
Don't you mean Sunny Street?
Street. Yeah, sorry, you're right. I forgot about that. Okay, so let me just make sure I got this right. So there's a girl, she's eating a lot, then she wants to find a boyfriend, so she goes with her friend to the gym, and they just talk about how to use the equipment and basically how to exercise a certain way, the pros and cons of exercise. So far, is that right?
More or less, yeah. There's a couple of plot things that I didn't really get into, so that if you watch the first episode, you'll still be like, "Oh, okay." Like, there's still some stuff that you're still gonna enjoy without my spoilers and everything.
That sounds cool. And out of 10.
Uh, I give it maybe a 6.2.
That is high. That is higher than I thought it was going to be. That is real. Oh, sorry. That is real good. That is real good.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not huge into anime that have like a ton of fan service. It's just not really my style.
Mhm.
But so that did bring down some points on it. But if that's your thing, go for it. But I will say the amount of helpful gym advice they gave you, and the feeling of validation, whether you like going to the gym or not, like, that's really cool. That really brought it up for me. I really enjoyed that. That was definitely my favorite part.
It's definitely different to anything we've watched
I
before.
know that, most definitely. I had never seen anything quite like that.
Yeah, or anything we've
And I'm
spoken
and I'm
about.
glad I watched it, honestly.
Oh, okay. Well, you're welcome then. You're welcome. All right, let's get into my one. Thanks for that was well described. I might actually check out the first episode just to see what it's about. And hopefully it gets better as time goes on. Like we said, it's the first episode we're talking about. So anime, if this is your favorite anime, if How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift is a favorite anime, we're not talking it down. We just
No, and
judging it
I
by the
think it
first
would,
episode.
and I think it's honestly going to get even better.
Okay, cool. All right, well, Bjorvio gave me the anime of, it's called Reincarnated as a Sword. Okay, Reincarnated as a Sword. So it's an isekai, if I'm not mistaken. And let me just go through what happens. So basically, it opens with a scene of this guy getting hit by a truck or a car in the real world. And when he
Shocking.
wakes up, he is a sword in this other world. And he's like almost like King Arthur's sword in this other
Ooh.
world. It's a beautiful sword. A little bit of swearing in this anime, just so you know, some swearing. But a lot of jokes. The jokes were pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed the jokes. It's refreshing when anime have jokes that can make you laugh. Now he's in this thing, and he finds some goblins, he destroys them, and he realizes he can level himself up. So he begins leveling himself up, finding bigger and better and stronger monsters as he goes to improve himself and get better and gaining their abilities. And he's loving it. Every time he takes out a monster, he feels a feeling of like he's just eaten a really good meal. But he's he keeps thinking to himself that he feels lonely. And this goes on for months of him leveling up, getting new abilities, but feeling quite lonely. He can use telekinesis to move himself around. He gets fire abilities and a bunch of other abilities as he goes. Then he ends up in this forest where he's trying to find new monsters. He gets stuck for years in this forest. The sword that's leveled up dramatically gets stuck in this forest and has been in there for a very long period of time. Years, and now he's very sad. It's like torture. Every day's torture. He cannot get out of where he's gone into. Then it brings in this other person into the anime. It's a cat girl. They don't give us her name. She's again nameless, but she's a slave. And her slave, she gets treated really badly. And her slave masters get attacked by a giant bear. She ends up finding this sword and slicing this giant bear up and slicing her slave owners up. All right, that's where we're at the moment. Does that all make sense so far?
That's a lot to happen in one episode.
Yeah, it is a lot. It is a lot. Good animation, very good animation, very funny. She gives him a name as a sword. She gains some power, a lot of power as a sword, and she gains the ability to level up herself and the sword at that point. She's always craved power and wanted power. And now she has the opportunity to actually gain that power. So yeah, it's a good story. Good story. It's similar to it's almost like a combination of Shield Hero and reincarnated as a slime in a way.
That's
A lot
kind of
more.
the vibe I was getting, honestly.
Yeah, a lot more action in the first episode. A lot of things going on, like I said. Um, Funny. It's got good animation, quite exciting, interesting story. It's going to be interesting to see where it goes. It hasn't really expanded on the world too much, and I think that'll make a difference. If it does a really good job of expanding on the world, maybe it has some good kingdoms that might make it more exciting, maybe, and give her more of a mission, and maybe meet some cool people. That might make it a little bit more exciting. But yeah, overall, it was a good first episode. It was a good first episode. I would give it a. I think I'm going to go 6.5 as well. 6.5 out of 10 for the first episode. Maybe 7. I'll go 7 because it did make me laugh, and I like anime that make me laugh. 7 out of 10, and I think I will watch more. I think I will watch more. So I appreciate that you sent it to me. Is that something that you would watch?
Yeah, so I've actually looked into that anime and haven't actually started it for myself. Um, but the way that I was generating the list, I just got like a bunch of them on the list and just had AI pick one, and that's the one it picked. And I was like, oh, well, that's convenient because that I kind of want to know more about that one anyway.
Yeah,
Um,
you'd like it.
so I'm okay, cool. I really like a lot of isekais.
Hmm.
So there's a chance that I'll probably end up watching it, like probably a high chance.
Yeah, it lacked a bit of emotion and depth, and I'm hoping they add that depth in the next episodes because on the surface it looked real cool, but we need some more depth there. This was fun to do. Did you enjoy it?
I did. I think it was really fun just to try a different kind of anime that I mean, I personally never would have just clicked on this one and been like, I'm just gonna watch it, and see how it goes. But now that I had a motivation to, it kind of, it piqued my interest. It got me to kind of expand my horizons a little and appreciate things that I never would have thought I'd appreciate in an anime, like the proper way to do bench presses. Who would have thought?
if you listening have an anime that you think we should watch the first episode of and talk about it, please send it through. We'd love to check it out, and we'd be happy to talk about it, good or bad, and we'll be honest and have fun while we do so. But yeah, I really enjoyed that experience. We should do it again for sure.
I agree. This could be a regular thing we do. I'm totally fine with that.
Heck yeah, it'll expand our anime horizons a little bit as well. Now, on the topic of horizons, let's get into our improv section and have some fun with that. We haven't. What's that?
Sorry, I just thought of the cucumber.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. I'm sorry, guys. Like I said, you need to be there for the joke, and I can't just say it again. It's going to ruin the moment. So
No, we need a whole episode dedicated to it.
we need an episode. Um, I'm going to get you to say, I'll give you a person and an emotion and a line, and you give us your best representation of that line, the person, and the emotion. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. I'll do the best I can.
All right. I'm excited. Okay. Bakugo. Sad. Why is there no more candy in this movie theater?
Izuku. Why? Why is there no more candy in this movie theater?
Very good. All right. Shigaraki, ecstatically happy, like super pumped. Um, uh, oh my goodness, you made macaroni and cheese with my special animal shapes.
Gary, oh, awesome! You made macaroni and cheese with my special animal shapes. This is the greatest day ever.
It's weird hearing him like that. It's almost like psychotic.
I know, right? Getting a little bit of Lord Frieza on Namek vibes there.
Heck yeah. All right, Gitaro. Um, in a job interview, telling us his greatest strengths, and you can make up the line.
My greatest strength is my heart. Once I love someone, I will never let anything bad ever happen to them. Except the one time my sister caught fire.
Yes. All right, let's go for two more. Let's go Deku flirting.
Oh gosh.
You have lovely shoes and a lovely haircut. What's your last name?
Oh, hey there, baby. You got nice shoes and a great haircut. What's your last name? And how long is it gonna take to change it to mine?
Yes. I thought you were Deku fused with Johnny Bravo at that point, but that was very.
No, a little bit, yeah.
Hey there, baby mama. Yes, damn, I'm pretty. All right, final one. Give us, give us, All Might. All Might. Giving really bad news. He, as a doctor, giving really bad news to a patient.
Young Midoriya, I'm sorry that I had to call you in here like this. Please, have a seat. I don't really know how to say this. I'm gonna need you to be strong. Look me in the eyes. Young Midoriya, you're allergic to cucumbers.
Yes. Oh my goodness, we need a compilation of all these cucumber references.
On
That's-
it.
Check our
Yes.
social media.
That's amazing. That is really cool. Oh, well done. I'm glad I heard your voice again like that. I missed it so much. All right, well, take us home, Bjorvio. Take us home into the forest with a voice of your choosing, and make sure everyone is happy.
All right.
Hi there. This is Inosuke Hashibira. And I'm sad. You know why I'm sad? Because the episode's over. And this is one of my favorites. And we didn't even get to bring in Manjirato. But you know why I'm also not sad? Because there's another great episode going to come next week, and you need to check it out. If you want to follow us, you should. We're on Insta, TikTok, all that fun stuff. And also, check it. We post all kinds of cool stuff during the week, so you need to go check that out too. Come back next week. We have another exciting episode for you that you're not going to want to miss. And by the way, now that we're done with this, I'm going to go hit on that cool chick over there. Oh, yeah. And don't forget, everyone, go beyond.
Plus Ultra.